When you moved out here, did you have a strategy? Because you talked about graduating from the conservatory and they did this showcase and people were kind of in the dark. But when you came out here, you'd been in New York, did you have a specific game plan?
Yeah, I subleased a room in West Hollywood in a house and knew I was going to be there for at least 6 months and then have to look for, a different place. I had also spoken to a guy I went to school with who's a couple years older than me who lives out here and was an agent at the time. And he was the only person I knew, but sort of like he was more of an acquaintance than, a friend. But, and he had mentioned to go take Leslie Kahn's Comedy Intensive. So I knew, okay, that's where I want to be. I know I'm going to be thrown in right away into on-camera comedy class. And I did. And that was like 9 years ago, and to this day I'm still friends with like half of the people in that class. Like I still talk to them. That was sort of like my instant group of friends, and because you have to rehearse every night for a few hours a night, so you kind of become your own like ensemble. But I highly recommend that. I still tell people to do that, whether you just do it once. You don't have to keep going to the ongoing if you don't want to, but at least do that when you first move to LA. It's great.
What were some of the things that were sort of curveballs that you weren't used to? You'd kind of planned it, you'd gotten this sublease and you had sort of this strategy.
Yeah.
But what were some of the things that threw you for a loop a little bit that now you would have done, like whatever, save up 3 months rent or whatever it could be?
Oh, I wouldn't have done that different because I know myself, and if I was like using the excuse of money, like because I didn't have that much money at all, excuse. Never did when I went to New York, never did here, I would not, I know me, and I wouldn't have, like that would have been really hard to save that much money before I could go. It's just not the way I operate. A lot of people can, they have to operate that way, but I got a job, like a part-time temp, office job or whatever, the second day I was here. So I'd already made calls. I made tons of calls before to see like what kind of job I could do and still go on auditions. And I also had a meeting set up with an agent here who had contacted me. And let's see, I had a lot of, stokes in the fire. I'd had just a running list of things. And then what I was going to do about a car, because gosh, I'd not driven a car since high school because I'd lived in cities the whole time. So there was no need for a car. And I remember one night laying in bed going, what am I doing? What are you doing? You can't drive like on an interstate, like on a freeway in LA.
It's a little scary.
Yeah. So that part was a little bit creepy, I guess, but I mean it was fine. I just did a rent-a-wreck for a couple months and I just feel like you just make it work. Like I just made it work on what I could afford at the time. And so when I got the job and you start to have more of a sense of like stability and routine, especially with the acting class too. Like I need that to feel sane.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot of talk like, should people have a plan B? Did they convey that to you during schooling or no?
Yeah, they did talk about it. I mean, some people were some of our instructors are like, you're going to look around your class and 10 years from now, somebody's going to choose to be a mommy instead, or somebody's going to choose to go back to school and, get a master's degree in something else. Somebody's going to choose, 1,000 different things. But I've never believed in that for myself. I don't understand having a plan B because, first of all, I'm single. I have, I don't have any kids. I don't have anybody else that I need to provide for or I need to answer to. So having a plan B just seems like, I don't know, like for me, would be a lazy way for some sort of escape to I don't know what. Because there's not like something else I want to be doing necessarily, but.
So that was definitely something that they advised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even when I was taking a few classes in New York, I remember with this one manager, and she would do, like, it was like an audition prep class, one of those millions of different classes you take when you're in New York, and her saying that she was really kind of nasty about it, like, probably only 2 of you in this class of 20 is actually gonna, do anything with this, so just look around and remember that. Some of you probably do need to have a plan B. So.
How did you feel about that kind of advice? Because some people I think can appreciate it and some it's really off-putting.
Yeah.
And some rise to the challenge.
I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, it was also like, I could acknowledge it was kind of nasty, but it was also kind of truthful. I mean, if you think of the odds of who's going to, you know, stay with this day in, day out and not go a different, you know, course. So,
did she say why? I'm curious. Did she give a reason why people don't stay with it?
Well, oh, this is just hard. You know, it's hard. You know, a lot of people don't have the grit or whatever to stay with it, is what she was saying.
Right. So it sounds like you planned, but you didn't do it where you obsessively worried about what's going to happen in 4 months. Am I going to have? So there's like a part of you that's a planner and then part of you that's more spontaneous?
Yeah. I mean, I kept my apartment for 2 years. So a couple of my friends here were like, I guess you have a problem with commitment? Like, do you have a commitment issue? I was like, no, I just think that's the wise thing for me to do because it's hard enough to find an apartment in New York, you know, in Manhattan that you like, can afford and everything. And to keep my stuff there, I didn't bring any furniture I just flew out here. So, that to me was maybe the plan B would be, go back to New York and go back, you know, to working in theater there.